Bonjour everyone! We decided to do some changes within our van because we had a back bench in it, and to take like 2 people or more with us, like friends or family members, or even pick up some hitchhikers during our journey. But the pandemic made that harder, and we figured that we won't use the bench as much as it's like worth to have it with us. So we decided to get rid of it. We are always working in home office, and maybe some of you can relate to it because you are in home office right now because of the pandemic. We decided that we need an extra space dedicated to work, because I, for example, always sit in bed working, and it's not very good for like mental health and like organizing myself and everything to stay in bed for work, be in bed for like having free time when I read, and be in bed when I sleep. So we need an extra workspace.
But first, because we originally built the floor under the rear seats with a different material than in the rest of the open area where we can walk around, we had to redo the floor. For this we used this cork material, which is probably not very durable, but very warm underneath the feet.
While Mariano is outside measuring stuff, I'm responsible for snacks, and I decided to make dates, oat, banana cookies. So another reason why we decided to get rid of the back bench is to have a wider open space, because the table is only gonna go until here, and to have more window light, because now the whole light can come in here and everything just seems bigger and brighter and more open.
We will glue our cork floor to the wooden floor with colle de liège. Wood glue is colle de bois, and this is liège.
So lately I've been reading a lot of books, for example dystopian books about when all the insects, especially bees, die. And days like this, where we are surrounded by like tractors and agriculture, and where it's like so beautiful outside, it just reminds me that all the food we have in our stores and everything we can experience, so like this beautiful nature and everything, we shouldn't take for granted, and we should be more thankful and more careful about all of it. So we are done with the floor now, and tomorrow we're gonna start to build our new office table.
Yeah. First step for our desk was to saw various pieces of wood into the right length and sizes. So the next step is to burn the wood, and for this I just use a blowtorch. Next step was to oil every piece to make it last a bit longer, and then the wood also looks better. For this I just used sunflower oil. As it was for the inside where we spend a lot of time and also sleep, we didn't want anything that would release toxins. And if you can eat it, then it's definitely safe to use. One of the reasons why we decided to build a desk here is to have a better working setup, but also we had some items like our laptops and cameras that they didn't have a proper place. So they were kind of always somewhere on the bed, on the kitchen counter, on the seats, on the table. And now we will have a proper space for laptops and cameras. And I drew up this little plan, and here's a better drawing of that. So this will be our desk, and we will have like a couple of shelves and drawers for pencils, and we will also try to get these 2 rubbish bins in there, and also behind that space for the tripod. Oops. Next step, screwing all the pieces together. Voila!
Yay!
Well, that turned out to be looking very good, and how nice to work outside in the sunshine. The drawer was going to be the next step, but that was something for the next day. So it's another beautiful day in the French wine countryside, and I'm just doing some finishing touches on this drawer. I sanded it all down so that it will fit properly. Now I just need to make a hole so that we can pull it out. Aha! Well, the peace and quiet now got a bit interrupted. Now it was time to see if it actually fits to continue with the left side of the desk. For that, the work was basically the same. Saw wood into the right sizes according to the plan I made, but also don't forget to measure twice and cut once. Then some sanding, burning, gluing and screwing everything together. And voila, another work day over. We're here now for 4 days and we had epic sunsets every night, but the sun was always setting behind some clouds just over the horizon. But today it looks very clear and the guy on the tractor is still working. And our office space is almost done. I think there's one more day of work left. The right cabinet is basically finished. I still want to install a small door that all the things stored in the cabinets don't fall out when we're driving. And the left side is, well, almost finished. I still need to install some shelves for the cameras, and for charging laptops and cameras I want to install some electrical outlets, and well, the top of the desk itself still needs to be done. But yeah, we're getting there and we are in no rush, enjoying the scenery, relaxing, enjoying the sunset. Sun is about to set, very nice here. The next day I began by working on the electrical outlets. For that I first drilled some holes into a piece of wood for all the plugs and a switch. So this one, the positive, goes on the switch. And from the second contact point of the switch, a wire to the positive ports of the 12-volt plugs. And now I just have to connect negatives to here. Okay, negative and negative. And a quick systems check. Yeah. Super. So, and the 230 volt is also very simple. I've got the cable coming out here, live, neutral and ground, and I just have to hook it up. All in place. Now I've got my piece of wood and this bit. With the left shelves done, it was time for the top of the desk itself. As this whole build was a spontaneous idea, we didn't have electrical power tools except for the drill. It is a bit more exhausting and takes longer, but actually was no problem to work with simple tools that we had with us. Now the final step.
Does it all fit? Final adjustments.
We ran into the first problem. The drawer didn't fit anymore with the top on it. Oh, aha! That one's for pencils. And the larger one for all our paper stuff. And we will finish the day with some spaghetti.
Spaghetti bolognese. So as our protein source we use lentils, because when we were back in Hamburg one of our friends made a vegan lasagna with us. Karin, if you're seeing that, greetings. And yeah, that's what we're also using as the protein base for our sauce.
Passata di tomato.
Bon appétit!
Buon appetito! Good morning! Well, for me, living in a van, the hardest things are the mornings, because then it's still very cold, both inside and outside. But as it is very sunny here, it heats up quite quickly. And what a view to wake up! I mean, you step outside, beautiful landscape, sunrise, Little tractor doing its thing on the fields. Very nice. Today we will leave our beautiful spot here between the wine fields. But first we have to remove this chaos, otherwise we can't drive. And Laura's making cappuccino. Cleanup session. Final thoughts on this beautiful place here.
It was really nice to spend a few days here and like have the whole space for the construction in the van, so you had the possibility to work outside.
My final thoughts are that it was also very interesting and educational to live between these fields where the farmers are working like every day, long hours. And there's so much work and manual labor going into food and here also in wine, and you shouldn't waste food or wine in this case here, because even now it's kind of winter time. They are coming here every day working on the little wine trees and cutting it by hand and yeah, taking a look at every single one. It's so much work. It's all done by hand.
We should in general appreciate food and everything we can get in supermarkets more, because it's just so normal for us to go somewhere and buy whatever we need, but they are like behind every little tomato there are like farmers and workers to like take care of all this stuff, and it's just not as easy as we sometimes think, I guess. So yeah, it's really hard work.
Okay, let's go. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Au revoir.
Au revoir. We don't want to end this video without showing you our whole great office table. We're at a different location now, and before we show you everything we actually built, we just want to give examples on working spots we used before we built the table. So this, for example, sitting in bed was like one of my everyday kind of working spot, which is sometimes fine, but sometimes it's not that good to sleep and work and relax at the same spot.
Another spot was on our couch. Or here at this table.
Or here in the front of the van. Okay, party people, here we have it, our finished project, our new office table, and as you can see, I'm very excited about that, because first we have a lot of storage space. For example, we can store all of our trash cans in here. They were standing all over the place before that, so I'm really glad that we now have a place where we can store them. Also my yoga mat and Mariano's bag, and in general we just have some cupboards where we have papers, note papers, tape, whatever you need when you work in an office, and when you're just working and you want to take notes, is stored all over here.
And on this side we have a very long drawer for like all our pencils, scissors, and up here are all of our cameras, and before that we didn't have a proper space for them, so they were kind of everywhere, always in the way. And now when we want to take pictures or something, we can just grab camera, go outside, click, and there we go. And we can also plug in the chargers here so that we can charge the cameras. And down here is a space for all our laptops, so very easy accessible. So we now have a beautiful, very large office area to work, and also have a great view outside. There's only one problem: we don't have a chair yet. But I hope this was useful for some of you who are probably also in home office right now, and I hope it inspires you to kind of rethink your working place and maybe build an office space for yourself in your van or in your home. Bye. Au revoir.